Hello.
Welcome.
This is a speed run.
Is it now?
Yes. Savage, are you there?
Yeah, right here.
Nice. Alright. So, yeah, this is Metroid Prime. As you can tell, it's a really good speed game. It's one of my favorite games of all time, actually.
And also one of my favorite games of all time in addition.
Yeah. I'm just going to take a second here to explain combat dashing the intended way, because I'm going to be using that a lot throughout the whole run. So the intended mechanic here is you lock into an enemy, and then they're going to dash at you. You can dodge out of the way like that. However, you can let go of the L button, and you'll go flying, and you have a lot of speed. And it's one of the most powerful movement mechanics in the whole game. I'm going to be using it basically the whole run, because it's really fast.
Yeah,
And then,
so the reason why that works, of course, is this game does not have a sideways speed cap, but it does have a forward and backward speed cap. So this dashing is basically one of the most broken mechanics in the game.
Yes. The other thing is you can lock onto things with any visor in the game, most notably the scan visor, because there's extra things you can lock onto. Like, I can't lock onto this normally, but I can lock onto that in the scan visor. But that's pretty much all I wanted to say. I'm going to get started real quick.
Okay, so to address a question in chat that I saw, so yes, this is the first version of Metroid Prime 1 that Cody's playing, so the first GameCube version, so all the glitches are in here as well, and I'll let you know as well that he's playing the game on a Wii console, because if you play this version on the GameCube, in a couple spots in the run, there's a chance of crashing, so playing on Wii just means that he avoids those crashes.
Yes. Alright, so traditionally, the game is timed from the moment you gain control of Samus to the moment the final cutscene starts after beating the final boss. So I'm going to start my file up real quick, and I'll count us down for when timing should start, if that's okay. Okay, I'm going to start it right now. Alright, I'm going to start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're off.
Best of luck, Cody. Yeah, so just a moment. I'll just take a moment to explain the basics of this game. So, first off, we start off in the space pirate frigate Orpheon. So, first off, Cody will be shooting a bunch of targets. You'll see it in a bit.
Yes. Also, right away, you're going to see me already using the scan dash trick to gain a lot of speed and go through these rooms very, very quick.
Yeah, so you see the full extent of scan dashing here used to its full potential. And another note about scan dashing as well, sometimes the scan points don't align perfectly with where you want to go in a room, so they can actually be bent a little bit forward or backward to have more optimal speed or movement through a room.
Yeah.
So, and then in addition, when scan points are not available or when scan dashing is not an option, Cody sometimes turns into a morph ball to roll. So morphing into a ball in those sections is the fastest way he can go for now. And of course, morphing, it takes about a second to both either morph into a ball or unmorph as well. So it's a bit of an investment, but it does pay off over long distances.
Yeah, later in the game, I'm going to be getting an item that lets me move and morph ball much quicker. And I'm going to be bombing the doors a lot more often. Even though it's a time investment to bomb the door, using the upgrade later on in the game is going to make it much worth it. Like, definitely worth my time.
Cody, speaking of time, I think it's time.
Oh, yeah, so if you didn't notice right there, why don't you do it, Savage?
Oh my gosh! Do we have a guest?
I am almost dead. What happened?
Oh no, it's Cody! Cody's
God.
here! So if you missed Cody Ledge, it was a fancy, or actually, I'll let Cody explain.
Yeah, so that was a ledge clip. I don't know. I'm a dork. Right coming up here is the Parasite Queen. It's the first boss in the game. Try not to blink.
Yeah, don't blink here. So if you notice as you're watching, Cody is actually shooting missiles very quickly. So what he does is he holds the C stick up and then he just spams the missile button to fire missiles very fast. It's a trick known as rapid fire missiles, and what it does is
Yes.
it cancels an animation, and he uses it against multiple other bosses in the run because it's very fast.
Alright, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I have 10 health right now. I have no idea how that happened. I've never seen that happen.
That's
I'm
never
supposed to
happened
have like
before.
at least 60. I'm supposed to have at least 60 health.
Oh well, it's a ledge clip. I'm a Glaceon, and
Yes.
it repositions you. All right.
Thank you,
So you
Cody.
can jump over the rail, and you don't have to go around the room. All right. Thank you, Cody. Give it up
Yes.
for Cody. All right.
For those of you that don't know, which is probably most of you, we're referencing a clip from Calathon of this year, where the guys were all making fun of me on stream, and they're all my friends, so I don't care, but yeah. They were just referencing one of the tricks that I discovered and had named after me, which would be the Cody Ledge.
Okay. So right now, by the way, So right now, Cody is actually doing what's known as frigate wall crawl. So this game has a lot of out-of-bounds stuff, and the out-of-bounds stuff is quite technical. So wall crawling just describes any kind of out-of-bounds movement. So basically, every room is inside of a box.
Every room is inside of a box. Inside that box is normal physics. Outside of the box, you have this thing called ether, which is basically you're suspended in midair, and you don't fall at all.
Yeah, so what Cody just did
Holy
there...
crap. Okay, hold up. Can I just take a second and appreciate how fast that was? Okay, that was an incredibly fast wall crawl. Let's go. I'm
Oh,
very happy with
poggers.
that.
Good content.
Alright, anyways, back to out of bounds.
Yeah, so with the out-of-bounds stuff, what Cody was trying to do there is like in Aether, what you can do is you can do 3-frame jumps, which is like 1/20th of a second in this game, to scale that particular vertical shaft there, and that was an incredibly well done walk.
Yes. My personal best at the end of the wall crawl, there's a leaderboard for it, but basically how that goes is your personal best for the wall crawl is the time you have left over when you're done the wall crawl. My personal best is a 5:22, and that was a 16, so that's very good. Also, that was Space Jump First. It's one of the most broken sequence breaks in the entire game.
Yeah,
It's
so by the
another
way,
effect of, it's another one of those really good content tricks that
yes.
involve scan dashing.
So speaking of Space Jump First, Space Jump is an item that allows you to get a second jump in midair. So it's incredibly useful as a movement item, and then plus it's intended to be gotten as more of a mid-game item as well, about a third of the way through the game. And you're supposed to do, like, you're supposed to make this huge backtrack for it, but no, it ends up being so much faster just to get it now.
Yep. Now is a good time for donations if we have any.
So by the way, I was mentioning earlier as well that There were a couple of points in the game, if you play on GameCube, that you can crash on this version. Riding up that elevator, it's possible to crash. And fun fact about me, the first time I played Metroid Prime casually, the game crashed on me there.
Alright, I'm gonna get the C-Tank because I need health for this run.
Yeah, so in addition as well, what you can do with Space Jump this early on is you can get that missile, and that skips having to fight what's known as the Hive Mecha to get the normal missile launcher. And missile launcher and missile expansion, they're technically two separate items, but they function exactly the same way, except missile launcher just has a cutscene. So what Cody's doing for the movement through this tunnel here, it's a technique known as bunny hopping, where he's using the R button as well as well-timed jumps on the ground to preserve his speed.
Yep. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this run's actually really good so far.
Good content.
If this were a PB attempt, I would be happy with this run.
Man,
So
keep it
far.
up.
You got this, Cody. Yeah, so basically what Cody's doing now is he's doing some nifty jumps around the room known as Main Plaza to get to that door up top nice and quickly.
Alright, so right there you saw me pull up my map. And that's actually slow, but in that case, it's not. What happens is, basically how that room in particular loads all the adjacent rooms is that once you enter the room, it's called Ruin Fountain, by the way. Oops, I hit Y. Once you enter Ruin Fountain, it starts loading all the adjacent rooms. I hit Y again. It starts loading all the adjacent rooms, but if you open up the map screen, it opens the one door in particular faster because that's the fastest room to load. I don't know why it works, it just does, and it saves time.
Yeah, so speaking about room loads, typically in Metroid Prime, usually only 2 rooms in the game can be loaded at once, or else if you usually load a 3rd room, the game will crash. So, and that's also a relevant point when Cody does any of the out-of-bounds things, because he has to hit what are called invisible load triggers to basically unload the previous room and then load up the next room. And then sometimes you see him shoot. You'll see it eventually, but sometimes you'll see him shoot rooms and then to see if they've been loaded, and then he knows if they've been loaded or not. So Cody just picked up the charge beam, which is a very useful ability. Allows him, of course, to charge his beam to fire a more powerful shot, which is, of course, very useful in many boss battles.
All right, so if for those of you who are eagle-eyed, if there's any birds out there in chat, smile W. You'll notice that. Yes, you'll notice that I actually deliberately aimed at the door there and shot at it. That'll be very important for later. I will get to that, but I will just leave it at that. I need to shoot the door now, otherwise, I will soft lock the game later on.
Yeah, you'll see that later. Okay, so coming up as well, Cody's heading to what's known as the Incinerator Drone, or in the Prime community, we actually have a special name for him. We call him Zoid. So the reason why I call him Zoid is a nickname for one of the programmers of this game, who actually programmed many of the RNG components to it, or some things that are random. So in this case, the Incinerator Drone, or Zoid, is random because it takes a certain amount of time for him to, oh, that was actually really good. So it takes a certain amount of time for him to pop his head out, for him to become vulnerable. And of course that amount of time is random, and it can vary quite a bit by about 30 seconds between the best and the worst possible luck here.
Yeah, basically how the RNG works here is that it's a 4-phase fight. Phase 1 has up to 5 seconds of variance, and the other 3 are 10 seconds of variance each. So the best possible Zoid is 35 seconds faster than the slowest possible. And it's completely RNG, there's nothing I can do about it.
So if Cody gets his good Zoid, the cue is like, if the boss is defeated before the music starts to loop, that's typically what we call a good Zoid.
Yeah, that Zoid was exactly average. Which means I'm going to be losing about 2 seconds here. Oh wait,
Still
more
not
than-
bad. Still not bad for a marathon though. Could have been worse, you know, marathon luck.
Marathon luck.
So of course the item that Cody gets from defeating Incinerator Drome is the Morph Ball Bombs, and these are an extremely useful item, and basically there's a trick in this game that you can do called bomb jumping, and what you do is simply you lay a bomb, and with the Morph Ball over it, if the bomb explodes while you're on top of it, you get propelled into the air a little bit. And there are actually many different types of bomb jumping techniques out there. There's like the single bomb jump, which you see Cody do here to escape the room. And then there are also double bomb jumps. There are even like many other crazy bomb jumping techniques like the triple bomb jump or the UBJ, for example. Like,
Yes.
just so many.
I'm actually going to take a second here to take a safety save, because there's a trick coming up in a few minutes that, if I fail it, I have to reset. So save the game right there, just to be safe. I'm probably not going to fail it, but if I do, then I have some sort of backup.
Yes, by the way, if we didn't mention it already, this part of the run is actually very reset heavy, basically from Frigate through to what they call Chozo 1, which is like, because we're in the Chozo ruins, and basically the idea here is to defeat the boss of the area known as Flagra, and then we also have to get one of the Chozo artifacts,
Oops.
which
Aww. Okay.
is oof.
What the heck? What? I landed on a dude. Oh gosh, there's beetles now. Okay, continue. Sorry.
Okay, so anyways, speaking about the Chozo artifacts, there are 12 Chozo artifacts, and they're needed to open up the Impact Crater, which is the final area of the game. And so far, there's no known way to skip them, so we just have to collect all 12 of them. And the first one we'll get is this one, which we're supposed to get much later in the game, which is called the Artifact of Wild. Yep, eventually, within several minutes.
Oh yeah. So if you didn't notice, walls are just a suggestion. That's a continuing theme from the previous run. I don't have to scan any of the rooms in that one room. I can just bomb jump over the gate and it's good. That's one of the tricks that only works on 1.0 or 0-00 version of the game.
Which is, of course, this exact version. And also say hello to Flagra. This boss is like 90% cutscene, 10% gameplay.
Yes.
I know it's everyone's favorite boss.
I love this boss. It's my favorite. It's cool because you get to watch cutscenes, and then I'm going to dash, and then I'm gonna watch another cutscene.
Maybe this is a good time for a donation.
This is a good time.
Agreed.
Perfect, because we have $25 from Amanda R, who says, "So proud of everyone, GG."
I'm also proud of this marathon.
Same.
I also wanted to include real quick that this is the second to last run, so we do have a donation incentive for the last run, which naturally will close after this. So if you want to donate for Link's name or Epona's name in Twilight Princess HD, now's your last chance. You got about an hour left.
Flogra.
So a little thing that we didn't explain about this fight is you see that there are bomb slots there. So what what you're supposed to do for this is you're supposed to hit the mirrors down, and then wait for Flagra to go down, and then the tentacles inside the holes will just retract, and then you bomb the slot. But what Cody's doing is he's bombing the slot from outside. It doesn't behave a lot like other bomb slots. It's actually just a damage trigger, so you can just hit the damage trigger from outside and it still works fine.
Yes. And the cool part about Flogra is that once you kill it, it's a longer cutscene than all the other ones. And then once I get the item, it's another 35-second cutscene.
So speaking of the item in particular, so defeating Flagra yields what's of course called the Varia suit, which, a little bit of trivia, Varia is a mistranslation of the word barrier. So what it does is it protects Cody from the extreme heat of the hot area in this game called Magmor Caverns, which you can do Magmor Caverns without the Varia suit, but it's just so much slower in this that we don't bother to do it.
Yeah. I actually don't know if you would actually bother getting Varia suit in an RTA optimized run. But Flogger is like 2 minutes worth of cutscenes, and so basically all that time isn't counted for the in-game timer. Which, did we talk about in-game time yet?
Oh yeah, so basically no we have not. So basically the way the speedrunning community...
Oh wait, hold up a sec, I'm gonna do it really loud, sorry.
Okay,
Yeah, I
sure,
want
I'll
to
shut
focus
up
for
a
this
bit.
trick. Right here's the trick
Quiet
that
time.
if I fail this, I have to reset. Okay, I got it. It's not too bad.
Congrats, Cody. Yeah, that's a very stressful trick. Like, it's a reset point for pretty much every single runner. So that trick is called Early Wild, and what it does is it skips 2 items, the Super Missile and Spider Ball, which we won't see in this run. And what that does is basically if you fall down that room called Sun Tower, it sets a trigger for this ghost fight coming up to get one of the Chozo artifacts. So what happens there is you set the trigger, but you have to still get up the room. So what Cody did there is he wedged himself in that little corner, and then it decreased his fall speed enough so that he could do what's known as an infinite bomb jump back up, and then that's just what happened there. So of course here we have a fight against Chozo ghosts. They can be random, but there is a way to kind of stun lock and juggle them as well.
See, this would have been a good ghost fight, except the last one is nowhere to be seen.
And this is where the emote free time loss comes into play. Shouts to Draconif, by the way.
Draco Wonif.
I'm DF.
Cody! Boo Illustration. Shoutouts to Boo Illustration.
Shoutouts to Boo Illustration as well.
Alright. Good split. That was actually really good. Holy crap. That's amazing.
Nice, Cody.
Good content. Alright, so that was a really good ghost fight. That was one of the best ghost fights I've had in weeks. Which is
Good.
funny, because I still lost 4 seconds to PB.
Good content.
Great value. Alright,
Yes.
so earlier
Where
I
were
bombed
we?
the door so I don't have to open it right there.
Yeah, so another thing too is, where were we again? Oh yeah, in-game time. So the leaderboard in this game traditionally goes by the in-game timer. So the in-game timer, it's accurate only to the nearest minute. So on the leaderboard, Cody has a 59 minute in this category. And then as for myself, I'm nowhere near his level, but I have like a 155. So there we go.
Yeah. So, yeah, the way in-game time works... Wait, did you already explain that?
I'll explain that right now. So basically the in-game timer counts down every frame that you have control of Samus in this game. So there are only a few exceptions to that. Like, that does not include any cutscenes. That also doesn't include any time spent on the map or the pause menu.
Yes, or text boxes as well.
Yeah, that would include that too. And by the way, here's the second artifact.
Yeah, funny thing about that artifact, I think the intended method is you're supposed to come back with a super missile and shoot the rock with it, but 2 missiles work. And that was never patched out in any version, including the most recent one, which is the Wii U Virtual Console. It's still a glitch in that version. So, is it even a glitch at that point?
Honestly, it's pretty debatable. I would say it's more of like an oversight, but I wouldn't really call it a full-on glitch.
It's just kind of a funny bit of trivia.
Yeah, so this is also where the run starts really picking up in Magmore Caverns here. So Cody's going to be doing a lot of tricky jumps and whatnot, so he's going to do some great value jumps here. So
Yes.
yeah, we actually came up with this name on the fly for this particular kind of jump. So what you do is if you hold L and jump against a slope in this game, it's called a
Oh,
great
gosh.
value jump.
Yeah, or alternatively, it's just a slope jump, but that's no fun.
Yeah, great value jump's a lot more fun. And then in addition, and then what they do is they simply give you a slight bit of extra bit of speed, vertical speed, so you get a little bit more height, and it allows you to clutch out some jumps. And then Cody also got an extra energy tank there.
I actually get that energy tank in runs. I'm too baby, even though my time is good. It only wastes 8 seconds in game time, so.
Yeah, it's definitely worthwhile to get, especially for marathon safety too.
For a reason. You get it in races, because then you'll die, maybe.
Yeah,
Unless
so
you're
by
like
the way,
Justin DM. Sorry.
yeah, right. Unless you're like Justin. So by the way, right here, Cody's actually watching this cutscene here because this cutscene saves in-game time, and it also moves Samus a little bit forwards.
Yeah, that's why it would save in game time. It's only like, I don't know, 5 or 6 seconds of RTA for one in-game time second saved.
And right there was another use of the great value jump to go over a wall and go straight to a door nice and fast.
That was a good split. Good content.
So, if I may, I would like to note that we are $91 from 4K. We could definitely hit that by the end of this run. We're so close, guys.
Yeah, we got this, everyone. We can do it. Also, by the way, speaking of we can do it, we can move fast as a morph ball now. So Cody got what's known as the boost ball. So
Yes.
if any of you are familiar with any other Metroid games, there's an item called the speed booster. Well, boost ball is basically like speed booster, but for morph ball alone. So Cody's going to use this a lot through many rooms to go fast.
Yeah, it's definitely the fastest upgrade you can get. Other than Space Jump, I guess. They're fast in different ways, I would say. Space Jump is broken, but Boost Ball is just, fast objectively.
And oh no, Cody's going to fall off.
Oh yeah, oops, I fell. Just kidding.
Oh wait, just kidding. All good.
Alright, I'm gonna go out of bounds here for the second time. I'll explain what's going on here. So basically, I want to... Ooh, I almost messed that up. Basically, I want to force load this room by shooting the door and then jumping to the side of it with force load it. And then I want to transition into the room. And then I'm going to unload the room, because if I force load this room, coming right up, it will crash. But it won't if I unload the other room. A really good thing to note is if you look at the mini-map, you'll see the game thinks I'm in the correct room right now. Like, I'm in Chozo Ice Temple, and that's where the game also thinks I'm in. But a really important thing to note is right here, I'm going to transition into the tunnel, and then I'm going to go back into Chozo Ice Temple, and that's going to be really relevant for a trick coming up in a sec.
Yeah, so by the way, this wall crawl or out of bounds that he's doing is known as Wave Sun, because what it accomplishes, it basically gets the next beam upgrade, which is the Wave Beam, as well as another Chodo artifact, the Artifact of Sun, at the same time.
Yep.
And you'll see that coming up soon enough.
So what's going on here is I am currently gaining angular velocity at an exponential rate, and after about 50 seconds or so, the game reaches such a high number that it's not able to calculate it anymore, and so instead it just goes to not a number. And you'll know that happens when my morph ball shell disappears. Now I'm just like a ball of energy.
Orb!
Yeah, corn on the orb. And this is a trick that we call infinite speed.
Of course, we also call it IS for short.
Yes. So what I'm gonna do, I'm not really gonna explain why it works, because frankly I don't really know all the details. But once my shell is gone and I have an NAN angular velocity, I'm gonna do a bomb and then boost twice. And then the game thinks I'm everywhere at once, and I get both items. And now I have 2 Samuses.
2
Enjoy.
Samuses, like that's so good, honestly. I guess the SAX in Metroid
Oops.
Fusion made her debut here over here, right?
Oh gosh. Okay.
Yeah, and of course the upshot of this is like he skips. There's this mini boss fight here against a Sheegoth, or like a powerful enemy, as well as a. So he completely skips that because that door is you can open it just with the wave beam. It doesn't lock.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that
Ooh, nice.
infinite speed is a really good. That infinite speed is a really good crowd pleaser.
Yeah, and then in addition, that door shot that you just did with the wave beam shot there, that was honestly good content too.
There's something in the top left corner.
There is, in fact, something in the top left corner. You guys, we have hit $4,000.
Let's go.
Woo! Nice.
I can clap because I'm in a cutscene.
The threshold was crossed by two donations here. One from Lazuli, that's $25. It says Cody77 height. And then,
Ooh.
in addition, we have 75 from Bursic. And this is interesting. It says, please put my donation towards naming Link in Twilight Princess Ratchet. So we have a third entry into the race, and it is not far off.
Now that's good content. So over here, Cody's doing a dash to obtain the next artifact, the Artifact of Strength. We just get it now in the route because it just works out.
Yep. Oh, by the way, that's the fourth artifact. I picked up an artifact doing the infinite, like the wave sun earlier. It's named that because you get both Wave Beam and Artifact of Sun.
Yeah, so four gotten and then 8 left to go.
Oops, I messed up. That should work out anyway.
So these rooms over here, known as Fiery Shores and Shore Tunnel, and these rooms, these are actually quite technical to do very fast. So yeah, watching Cody do this is very impressive.
4K?
Hype!
Hype? Heat hype?
So now the next part of the route is Cody returns over to Talon Overworld, and he's actually going to be going back to Chozo Ruins, pretty much to get a few more items over there. Namely, you'll see in a moment.
Also, I guess I should bring up the fact that the route I'm currently using to beat the game is called the double IS route, and that's because we do the infinite speed twice. But I also like to call it the Remy Sucks at Bars route, and the reason for that is the reason the whole route is actually used by all the runners is because there's this one runner named he goes by Remy Demi. He actually, okay, so there used to be a really stupid bomb jump that involved bombing over a gate that you're not supposed to go over, and it was really precise and pretty stupid. And so he was fed up with that trick, and so he had all the routes looked into. And at the time it was the previous route and then the Remy 6 at Bars route. He had both routes looked into, and it was discovered that this route is actually faster than the other one. And so the name Remy 6 at Bars was invented.
Yeah, good thing it is, because I've done that bar skip to like skip the underwater crashed frigate Orpheon, and it's not fun. Like it sucks.
Oh, I fell.
Okay, so by the way there as well, in that previous room known as Ruined Shrine, Cody did a dash up to the wave door there just to skip, basically to skip needing Spider Ball. And over here, Cody was doing a great value jump underwater. So, you know what the gravity suit is. So basically, it's a suit upgrade in this game. It looks beautiful. In my opinion, it's actually the nicest looking suit in the game. Not gonna lie.
If I get this, I'm going to donate. Oh, never mind, rip. Sad face.
And then,
I don't get it.
oof. Oh yeah,
I got
the
it in
hole
the
in one,
depressing
right?
way. Yeah. Anyways, what's up?
So either way, either way, what you're supposed to have for that other chosen artifact there is you're supposed to have the gravity suit, but no. If you do a great value jump underwater without gravity suit, it gives you a lot of speed off the ground, lots of vertical speed, and then because your deceleration in water is slower, you actually gain a lot more height, and you can make that jump without needing gravity suit. So if there are any other gravity suit fans over here, sorry to disappoint you, but you won't see it in this run ever.
Yeah. Alright, so I'm gonna do infinite speed a second time. This time it's to get a power bomb expansion far earlier than intended, but I'm gonna be waiting around for another 50 or so seconds, so now's a good time for donations if there's any.
Let me take a look-see here.
Who would have thought where the route where you sit around for 50 seconds twice is actually the fastest?
I know, right? Yeah, so the reason why we get this power bomb expansion really early, or access to power bombs really early, is Cody is actually going to go and grab a required visor in the game, and it's only required just for one reason, and that would be a certain boss. But if not for that certain boss, then in theory you could skip it because you could just like shoot invisible platforms or just memorize where they are, but we end up needing it anyway, so yeah.
Alright, I have infinite speed. You can tell because I am a ball of energy again. Now, one of the side effects of the infinite speed is that once I actually have not a number angular velocity, aka I have no shell, is that what we call light shell.
And yes, and light show is very, very bad, to say the least. Like, it basically blinds you.
There, and you can morph again and see, is because the camera is actually in a fixed position. So if you morph again, you can see again. And the reason I do that is to cancel infinite speed so I can start boosting again because it's fast. But I can cancel the light show entirely by going into the save station here, which I will now save.
And in fact, light show can be cancelled by going into an elevator or otherwise triggering any other kind of cutscene, like a map station as well.
Alright, I'm going to do a great value jump here to get out of bounds. It's kind of precise, but I got it second try.
All right, and here, nice job, Cody. And here begins a wall crawl that we call IBBF, or I guess IBBF AF. So the background with this trick is it's known as Ice Beam before Flagra, so hence the name. And then the other acronym is Ice Beam before Flagra after Flagra, which is exactly what Cody's doing here. So it's a wall crawl, of course. So again, these are quite scary, and there is a potential for him to get stuck, but Cody knows what he's doing, and I believe in him, and we should all believe in him as well.
That's the spirit.
I made a mistake, but it's okay. What's going on?
Apparently there's like there was some buffering a while ago with the stream, but seems okay now on my end.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, I think it caught back up. Twitch is doing a lot of weird stuff today.
Apparently.
Agreed.
Alright, so I fell out of bounds. That's really slow, but it's okay.
Yeah, so unfortunately, if he falls out of bounds like that, then he can recover, basically by doing aether jumps up. So for any of you who don't know, so every room is inside of a box. Inside the box, there's basically normal physics. And then when you go outside of the box, there's a stuff known as ether. So in ether, you can either slowly rise up, or much faster way, which Cody does, is he does ether jumps to quickly get back up, which are 3-frame jumps. So 1/20th of a second for this particular game, because this game's frame rate is 60 frames per second. And if you notice, Cody does ether jumps at the corner of the box of a room, and the reason for that is in Prime, if you fall off a ledge, you actually completely lose control of Samus's momentum, and you fall all the way to the bottom. So to mitigate that, if you happen to fail an ether jump in this game at the corner of a room, then you're okay, basically. And then in addition, what Cody does to get back inbounds is he causes a room to load around him, and that's exactly what you saw right there.
Yep. I also did it at the frigate wall crawl at the start of the game, but we were explaining other things at the time, so I couldn't get to it. But yes, it's very important.
There are actually other ways to get back in bounds when out of bounds, known as a ceiling warp, but we don't really see that in this particular run. So mainly loading rooms around you is the most common way.
Yeah. Oh, and that was the third and final wall crawl of the run, so the rest of it is completely in bounds. Enjoy.
Yeah, that's definitely good, because the out of bounds of this game can definitely be a little bit scary. Although, to be fair, like, there's an optimal strat that the topmost runners of this game do, such as Justin DM. There's a wall crawl that you can do in Phase on Mines to get the 12th artifact, the Artifact of Newborn, a little bit early without having to backtrack.
Ooh. Sorry. Work.
Oh yeah. I think I know which room. I think I know which room this is.
Yeah, that's Life Grove Tunnel. It's bad.
Yeah, so this is Life Grove Tunnel. Like, but I petitioned to name this room worst room in the game. By the way, Cody, you agree, don't you? Right?
Yes. Life Grove Tunnel does not function even as intended. It's just broken.
Yeah, so basically, the reason why Life Grove Tunnel is such a bad room in the game, that half pipe down there, which you're supposed to boost up, occasionally what can happen is, in the very middle of it, you can lose momentum entirely, like you literally just get stuck, and it's time loss whenever that happens, and I call that getting Life Grove tunneled. Simple enough.
Yes. Oops, I jumped in the wrong spot. It's okay.
So basically that visor that Cody just picked up, that is required. So X-ray visor, the reason why we pick it up is it's required for the Omega Pirate boss fight. You can't damage Omega Pirate without you having X-ray visor in a certain phase. So it's literally needed just for that one reason.
Wow. This talent. I don't remember which talent it is. That was kind of a bad segment, but it's okay.
Yeah, so by the way, what Cody did to get out of that room called Life Grove with the X-ray visor and that one Chozo artifact, he did a trick called an R jump, which is basically it's a bended jump while holding R to preserve speed, and what he does is he actually turns a little bit, because in this game you don't have sideways speed cap, and you can actually gain speed a little bit, and then you can reach that ledge with that kind of jump.
Oof. Sometimes you can boost right up into the morph tunnel right there. I've gotten that exactly twice in runs, and it's always good when it does happen, because you save a second and it looks cool.
That's right, it's definitely good content.
For the memes.
Absolutely. So another thing too is what Cody is going to do coming up next. So he's going to pass by the crashed frigate from the beginning of the game, so crashed Orpheon. So unfortunately, if you wanted to hear any of that amazing underwater frigate music in this game, well, too bad, because he doesn't need to go in there for anything.
Yeah, sorry, you're fresh out of luck. Okay, that was a good frigate crash site. Oh my gosh, I got a lot of speed there.
Good content. Okay, I just saw a question chat here from Leica here. question. I know there's no sideways speed cap, but what about a backward speed cap? Yes, Leica, there is a backward speed cap and a forward speed cap as well. But no sideways.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why scan dashing is so effective, is because you move you move tangent to a circle around the thing you're trying to scan off of, if you know math. But like, basically you're going sideways. That's weird. Sorry, my throat is kind of freaking out.
Also, what's up, Bash?
Bash W.
Shouts to Bash Prime, by the way, who's watching right now. He's a cool dude.
Oh yeah, ship save percent. So me hitting the ship save right earlier in Talon a second ago, that signifies the halfway point in the run. If you're looking into getting into a new speed game, then it's definitely recommended you do late game practice. Oh gosh, this is not good. But for a while there used to be a thing we used to do a lot called ship save runs, where we would just do like any percent runs as normal, except the run didn't start at the start of the run, it started at the ship. And then you just do the second half of the game for practice, basically. And when I started doing that, I had like a 103 at the time. And that's basically the number one reason why I was able to get 59.
Okay, so another thing that we just glossed over as Cody was talking there is past that room there known as Twin Fires Tunnel, you're supposed to have the spider ball to get across that room, but right there Cody did another R jump to get across. He did fail the first one and fell in the lava, but he did manage to get it. And there is also an easier trick you can do across that room, and just to dash to get across if you bend it backwards, and that works too. So here in Geothermal Core, which is the name of this room, the next objective for Cody is to get the 4th beam upgrade and almost final beam. Well, final unless you count the phase-on beam, of course, but
yes,
the plasma beam, which is in the adjacent room up at the very top, known as plasma processing. And there are a couple tricks to get this one as well.
Yeah, so what happened right there is basically I did a great value jump, or like a slope jump, in conjunction with an R jump, and basically those two things together got me the speed and the distance I needed in order to just barely make that ledge. And it's very fast. If you don't make it, there's a backup, but it's kind of slow.
Yeah, the backup involves doing a couple great value jumps up a couple platforms that have like these weird knobs on them. It's kind of hard to explain, but you can do it. It's...
Oh, what the hell? Stop, please. I got stuck in the collision. That happens sometimes when you boost. You just get stuck in the collision.
Metroid Prime for the Nintendo GameCube, TM.
Final meme upgrade.
Developed by Retro Studios and published by Nintendo in 2002 for the Nintendo GameCube Entertainment System.
Alright, so I don't have Spider Ball, so I'm not supposed to get into Farfetchana, but I can just jump on that and then jump on this. It's pretty easy. It's one of the first things you learn when you do this game. Like, one of the easiest things you can learn, I guess.
Yes, if you didn't notice by now, Metroid Prime has a lot of standable spots everywhere, so yeah, it's just another example of abusing them here.
Yeah, especially, I would say, going forward in the run, I'm going to start abusing a lot of standable spots that were not meant to be standable, because at this point in the run, I'm starting to have less items than the game wants me to have, and so I'm going to start standing on stuff that I'm not supposed to, you know, skip jumps and such.
Yeah, so in addition, the reason why we have to go all the way over to this part of Phendrana Drifts is basically there's a Chozo artifact here. Actually, a couple Chozo artifacts. So this one over at Phendrana's Edge here, which casually I know it took me a while to find my first time. It's the Artifact of Spirit, so it's hidden behind a power bombable wall and also a plasma beam door as well. And the only way you know it's there is if you use X-ray visor. Or thermal, but hey, we also will get thermal visor pretty soon as well. And then in addition, there's a second artifact coming up in the pirate labs, which are pretty close by too. So he'll be going there next.
Yeah, an unfortunate outcome with this game is that because of all the artifacts you need to get, there's a little bit of backtracking. This is probably the worst ones in the game. In fact, if you did not need to get the artifacts, the route would just not even come here a second time. And instead of going to workstation, which is what I did, I would just be in phase on mines right now. But it is what it is. It's not even that bad. Plus, another thing of coming here is you can get the thermal visor, which is very handy for the final boss.
Yeah, so technically, speaking of the thermal visor, of course, allows you to, as the name implies, allows you to see heat signatures.
Oh boy.
Oh, oof. And basically the reason why the thermal visor makes the game a bit easier is because the final boss has...
Stop.
Oh, jeez.
Stop, they're shooting me. Oh my gosh. This game sometimes. Okay, I'm out.
You got this, Cody.
Okay. That was annoying, but I'm out now.
So we get the thermal visor to make that fight a bit easier and a bit safer as well. It can be done without it, but it kind of sucks a little bit, so hey, thermal visor doesn't take too much longer to grab.
By the way, you guys probably knew this in chat, but I love this game, and it's a good game.
I agree. It definitely is a good game. One of my favorites of all time as well.
For those of you who might be interested in playing this at some point, don't fret because I'm skipping over like all of the story.
Yeah, so speaking of the story in this game, like in this game as well as many other Metroid games, the story is mainly you have to go a bit more out of your way for it. In this case, so in this case, the story is revealed mostly through the scan visor and scanning logs and stuff, which of course, if you're playing casually your first time, then all good. And right here, what Cody's doing as well is he's going for a shot on certain explosives to hit a tower there, and he got it. Nice.
I missed it the first try, unfortunately. There's an invisible wall there that prevents you from doing that, but it's just not high enough. I can jump off the box and still hit the thing. Which, it wouldn't even matter at this point, because I have plasma and everything, so I can just do it the intended way, honestly, but...
Speaking of the intended way is to use the plasma beam to melt a bit of ice, and then shoot those explosives from a little window.
Yeah, I'm kind of low on health, so I'm going to take this kind of safe.
And another thing that I forgot to mention as well about that room, control tower. Yes, I call it a room even though it's outdoors. So there's a pirate fight trigger in there at the opposite door. It is actually possible to skip that pirate fight as Cody just did because he doesn't actually have to go any further that way. The fight trigger is actually a little bit in front of the other door on the other side. So of course Cody right there, he got that energy tank, both for safety as well as it's a complete refill of health as well.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why E-tanks are so good in this game. Alright, so I'm gonna buffer a frame perfect ice beam switch right there between two cutscenes, just by holding down on the C stick. It's frame perfect technically, but I can buffer it, so it's all good.
Oh yes, speaking of beams, Cody, we didn't talk about the various beams in the game. So I'll mention that. So basically you have 4 beams, so power, wave, ice, and plasma. So each of the beams has their own properties like fire rate, damage, and so on. And then you can of course switch between them at any time, and of course they're needed for opening doors and whatnot. So based on pure strength, I believe it's like if you ignore the burn damage from the plasma beam, ice beam is technically the strongest, followed by plasma, followed by power, followed by wave. But then if you include burn damage, then plasma beam is technically strongest, and that will be relevant because oftentimes Cody will use ice beam and plasma beam to take out many of the bosses as well. In addition to that, the rapid fire missiles trick that I described much earlier on in the run.
Yeah.
And then, in addition with the ice beam, what Cody can do for most normal enemies is he can freeze them and then missile them, and it kills them in basically one hit.
Yeah. Another cool thing about this game is that beam combo, or like beam management, is actually a pretty big part of this game's time save. Because it takes a full second to switch beams, and... hold up. Oh, I fell. Okay, whatever. Oh gosh, I'm getting destroyed. Oh gosh, I'm getting really destroyed. Stop! Help! Help! Oh my gosh. This is rough. Okay.
Monka S.
Okay. What's supposed to happen there is I'm just supposed to boost off the platform and land by the door, but I fell all the way. It's okay though.
Yeah, so
But yeah.
this room is known as Phazon Processing Center, and yeah, you can fall really easily in it, or of course in the Prime community we just call it PPC.
Yeah. But anyway, beam management is actually a really big part of this game's time save. In the fact that if you have the wrong beam up in front of, like, let's say I had my wave beam open in front of an ice door, I would have to switch to ice beam, or no, well, I would have to switch to the correct beam and then shoot the door, which would cost an entire additional second. And if that happens 30 times in your run, which isn't reasonable for, like, that's not unreasonable for how long the game is for a new player. If it happens 30 times, you've lost half a minute.
Yeah, and by the way, we kind of glossed over this too, but that elite pirate that just burst out of that tank, that fight doesn't exist.
Yeah, we don't fight him. We just jump on his head. He's cool. Oh, here's another good example of rapid fire missiles.
Yeah, so right here, like the elite pirates have this weird AI quirk where when they first burst out of their tank, they look for you, and as they pivot around, they can't see you just yet. So Cody is abusing this, and then in the meantime, using rapid fire missiles, so holding up on the C stick and then spamming Y to kill the elite pirate extremely fast. And that elite pirate as well, it triggers once you get plasma beam.
All right, so this is the power bomb maze. The maze I got looks pretty bad, but basically, there's 300 different possible mazes you can get. They all range from 5 to 53 squares, I believe. No, 15 to 53 squares. There's only 3 15 square mazes and like 1 55. But there's 300 different possible mazes you can get. And yeah. This maze was also programmed by David Zoid Kirsch. Another one of those like he's the same guy that programmed Zoid from earlier. So yeah.
Yeah, as in the incinerator drone, who was quite near the beginning of the run.
I'm gonna take the save here, so in case I don't die.
Yeah, probably the best idea right now.
Normally I wouldn't take the save, but I'm going to, cause marathon safety and such.
Yeah, and plus we have the rooms coming up that everyone who runs this game likes. So basically, Phazon Mines, casually, it's quite a difficult area of this game, and speedrunning wise, it is also quite difficult. So there's a lot that can happen here. So hopefully, Cody plays this well. You got this, Cody.
Yes, if I play Lower Mines really well, honestly, Lower Mines is probably one of the hardest parts of the run for me. So if I can play Lower Mines really well, then I'll be set. Oh, I forgot to split too. Oops. Alright, so this first room coming up is probably one of the worst rooms in the entire game. that actually does function as intended.
As in not Life Grove Tunnel.
Yes, this room functions as intended, but it's really bad anyway, because it's hard.
Yeah, so this
I need
room
to dash
is...
across here. I'm gonna take a second to wait for these Metroids to get a little closer, and then use a power bomb for them to die on it. And then this guy is gonna die, and then I'm going to dash across. Alright, not too bad.
Nice.
Good content.
Well played, Cody. Good content.
There's also a little bit of RNG involved because the Metroids are primarily RNG.
Yeah, sometimes depending on the run you have, Metroids as well as Space Pirates can be out for blood in this game. Let's say that. Like, they can literally block your dash, and then there's nothing you can do. Oh, there's nothing you can do other than just fall down and try again.
So yeah, again with the beam combo management, a part of that is realizing what door is coming up next. Like you may have noticed that the door I just shot was Ice Beam, but I switched to Plasma because I was gonna be coming up to a Plasma door, and I would have had to spend extra time to switch to Plasma if I morph afterwards. So I just did it before. And
Also,
saved time.
fun little bit of trivia with those two doors there. Those two doors, they're Ice Beam on one side and then Plasma on the other, for some reason.
Alright, this is Metroid Quarantine B. Let's hope I can get the strat. Oh, I'm getting shot. Okay, I still got the strat. It was kind of sketchy, but it worked. That room is really scary. It's one of the biggest run killers in the run. Because if you fall on the Phazon, you lose a lot of time. And there's a good chance of you just dying.
Yeah, so speaking of Phazon, which is that blue stuff, basically what happens when you take damage from it is the damage is exponential. So what that means is if you spend only a little bit of time in it, you don't take much damage, but the longer you spend in the Phazon, the more damage you take. So it's critical to not spend too much. And also right now, Cody's...
That's bad.
Oh, oof. So
He
now
hit me out of the way.
This is the Omega Pirate. So this is the entire reason why we got X-Ray Visor. So, and right here, Cody's setting up for something called a Trooper Skip. So normally, and he didn't get it. So normally what's supposed to happen is these Space Pirates spawn to distract you, but if you lay a power bomb at just the right moment to hit a Mega Pirate there, it skips spawning the Troopers. And then here, Cody's looking for the Omega Pirate to spawn in one of the 3 Phazon pools. And there's a bit of a quirk.
I'm going to have to power bomb him on the 3rd pool.
Okay, cool. So, and then in addition, there's a quirk with this fight.
Okay. That's rough.
So
Okay, I did not get
pools.
this one cycle.
Oops. So with the Phazon pools here, so the Omega Pirate never spawns in the pool you're closest to.
No! That's rough. I have to do lower mine again.
Oh, oof. Oh, good thing you made that safety save. So,
Man,
it happens though. So as I was saying about that particular fight, so Omega Pirate never spawns in the pool that you're closest to, and then he also never spawns in the pool that he spawned in before. So, but because there are 3 pools, you can manipulate him so that he spawns in an exact pool that you want, and you know exactly where he'll spawn.
that's unfortunate. It's okay.
This is Lower Mines in a nutshell, by the way. It's very unforgiving, both in casual play and even more so in a speedrun.
Yeah, that usually doesn't happen, but I missed Trooper Skip right there because he did one of his animations like instantaneously, which he does sometimes, but not usually, and I wasn't prepared for it. It happens. It's okay.
Yeah, so Cody's probably going to end up losing a couple minutes here, but I know you have enough time set in your estimate, Cody, to account for something like this. You got this, though, Cody. Also, what's up, Worldly, there?
Worldly, PogChamp. Shoutouts to Worldly.
Good content.
Speaking of good content, we have some donations. We have a moment.
Yes, I'm just doing the same thing over, so it's okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Alrighty, from Azure Bet, we have $10. No comment, but that is much appreciated, Azure Bet. And then Anonymous donates $10 saying, oh god, let's go whoa, Cody.
Oh no, who was this?
It was Anonymous. So you'll have to,
Oh my.
you'll have to wait and see if they reveal their face.
Wody.
Yes. Oh, I missed that. Okay. Luckily, I have lots of health. Okay. You can
That's
just jump on the
definitely a
bubble
good
if
thing.
phase on. I'm gonna take another safety save here. It won't take long.
Oh, Moonblaze, I was that. Who was it?
Who woo was it? Good content. Oh, by the way, Metroid Prime community loves its memes, so if you hear us say good content a lot, or like great value, or great content, those are all
Great
Metroid
value
Prime.
content.
Yes, those are all
Yes.
Metroid Prime memes.
Or one of my personal favorites, Metroid Prime for the Nintendo GameCube. TM.
Alright, take two, let's do this. I
You got
believe in
this.
myself.
You got this, Cody. I believe in you too. Everyone, believe in Cody. Yes, Wolf Tweak, a great value is a kind of jump.
Alright, this will be easy. That should work. Oh, okay. Hey, I failed Trooper Skip, but it's RNG which troopers I get, and I got Ice Troopers, which is the best possible. So, it's okay. I can just
Yes.
Ice Missile them, and it's all good.
Yeah, so with Ice Troopers, all Cody needs to do, and this is why the Charge Beam is so useful too, you shoot a charged ice shot at them, you missile them, and then it kills them instantly. And by the way, this is one of the things that was patched out in later releases of the game too. You can no longer do this in some versions of the game.
Hey guys, guess what?
What's up?
What's
I have
that?
another donation here.
Another one.
Ooh,
This one,
good.
this one is for $250.
Oh.
Oh,
From
good.
It is from Rivali. It says, "Look at me, I'm the hero now."
Oh my goodness. I have feelings of not good things towards Rivali. Except,
Well-
I'm sure whoever donated is a good person.
Well, two can play at this game.
Oh boy. So I missed the one cycle again. It's unfortunate, but it happens.
You got this. You got this, though, Cody. Yeah. So, by the way, the whole reason why we need to fight Omega Pirate, even in the first place, is for the final suit upgrade in the game, the Phazon suit. And what do we need the Phazon suit for? Just the final battle of the game again, because the Phazon suit also gives us the Phazon beam, and with the Phazon beam, that allows us to kill the essence of Metroid Prime. Because without that suit, you can't do any damage to the final boss. So we have to get it.
We've got another moment here.
We sure
Ovo,
do.
what's this?
Ovo.
All right, as if one $250 donation wasn't enough, we have here, as a matter of fact, a second $250 donation.
Woo! Let's go.
This one coming in from Sonic Mega, and I love this. We asked Link if he'd be opposed to us putting this towards naming the horse after him, but he said, Nay.
Good.
I love it.
Yeah, that's a prime time for this announcement.
Prime time. So that means our total is over $4,500 now.
Yep, less than $500 left to go till the 5K.
We're getting there. I believe it.
We're so close, guys. Come on. We have a almost 4-hour run coming up. We should be able to get it. Let's get it though.
Oh, and by the way, as well, like in that cutscene about Samus getting the Phazon suit right there, you noticed it actually showed the gravity suit for a moment. So, yeah, that cutscene is kind of weird, and the way you actually acquire the Phazon suit is kind of weird as far as like the percentage counter for this game, because it's like the only item acquired through a cutscene. So it's very quirky, and then in addition, a subtle little thing that you may or may not have noticed when playing this game for the first time as well is Samus's arm. If you look at it from first person, or her hand as you like hold R, it doesn't actually change to like the black that it should be immediately. Like if you notice, it's still the same as it was for the Varia suit. That only changes when you leave Phazon Mines.
Yeah, funny quirk about Phazon suit there is in the cutscene, it shows that I got a gravity suit, but I never actually got gravity suit. And in the cutscenes, they're progressive. But in like an actual gameplay, I actually have Phazon suit, so that's cool.
Yeah. So basically, what Phazon suit does is it prevents all damage from any of this blue Phazon that you see. I say blue Phazon because later on there's going to be orange Phazon, which still damages you even with Phazon suit, but the whole reason for getting that is after that Cody backtracked to grab one of the artifacts, the artifact of Newborn, and that's also the same artifact that the top runners of this game, such as Justin DM and T3, they do an out of bounds to get that artifact without Phazon suit.
Fun fact, you can actually do early newborn in 100% inbounds by damage boosting through the entire bit of the Phazon. And it only works because in 100%, by this point you would have 13 E-tanks. So like 1,400 health.
Yeah, and of course, like the Phazon suit does look cool, and it is my second favorite suit in the game, after Gravity suit. Yeah.
Oops.
So, if anything, the reason why you need that many E-tanks for early newborn inbounds in 100%, that just shows you how much damage Phazon does.
I took a second to shoot those boxes so I can possibly get some more health.
Not a bad play.
Alright, so for those of you who remember, I came through here and I had triggered the fight on purpose so I could jump on his head. But this time I'm going to jump on the tank and jump over his trigger entirely so I can just ignore his fight. Because if I tried to go that way, I would have to fight him again.
Oh, and by the way, Cody, did you know that it was a good idea at the time? I would like to welcome in all the raiders that showed up just now.
Oh boy. Welcome in, raiders. Oh gosh. Oh gosh, okay.
And of course, thank you so much, Brosentia, for the raid. Prepare yourselves for some good content.
Alright, this is spiderless shafts.
Do you need quiet time here?
Can you explain it actually?
Yeah, so basically, this is where you'll see a bunch of standable points. So, first off, what Cody is doing is he's trying to do what's called a bomb space jump, or a BSJ. So how that works is basically he gets behind something as a morph ball so that he triggers an instant unmorph while in midair, and then while in midair he can actually do a space jump out of that. So that's also a trick that's in common with the other Prime games as well, namely Metroid Prime 2 Echoes, in which it's a lot easier, and also even Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. In this In this game, it's actually quite a bit more difficult to do, and that was actually a very nice first shaft there.
It wasn't perfect. Getting the bomb stage jump first try and then getting the collision on the rail first try is ideal. It was like a third try or something. Not bad.
Yeah, something like, yeah, not bad, especially for a marathon, for sure. Like, that trick is definitely quite stressful, to say the least. And then that second spiralist shaft was very nice. So the way those work is, like, they're very small, standable spots. Like, I don't even know how precise they are, but they're pretty precise.
Alright, so this pirate right here I'm killing is named Calvin. He's not supposed to fall down here. If he falls down here, you have to kill him because he's gonna mess you up in a second. I will explain why. So
Yeah, and then, oh, what's that?
the way these elite pirates AI works. This is also true for Phazon, like Omega Pirate, right? Basically, what happens is they will always be turning towards you until they see you, like directly in front of you. But if you're never in front of them, they'll just keep turning, and you'll just be able to kill them. But if Calvin is up, he can shoot you in front of them, and it will mess you up because you will have to wait for him to attack and all that, and it's just slow, and you don't want it.
Yeah, and then in addition there, for all of you who have shown up recently from the raid, so right there, Cody did a trick known as rapid fire missiles. So what he does there is he holds this C stick up to cancel the animation from firing missiles so that he can fire them insanely fast and then kill that Phazon elite nice and quickly before he can even do anything.
Yeah, real quick, I want to give a formal greetings and welcome to all the people from Brosench's channel. And also to Brosench himself. Hey, thanks for coming. Welcome.
This room right here is a really good example. This room right here is a really good example of stuff you're not can. Because I'm just going to skip all of the spider tracks. You need to climb it and just jump. Oh, this Metroid is being mean. You ever seen him push me up like that?
Oof.
So you can jump right here, and then...
You got this.
The hardest jump of them all is this one, and it's sketchy because if you fall all the way down. But I made it, so it's good. And that's mines. Probably the most technical area of the game.
Yeah, definitely the hardest, most technically demanding area of the game. And by the way, there is an item at the top of that last room known as the grapple beam, but we're too good at this game, so we don't get it. You don't need grapple beam for anything.
Yeah. Now's a good time for any more donations if there are more.
Alright, let me take a look here. Reminder that we are past the $4,500 threshold. We're getting super close to that goal.
Yep, we can do it. We're almost there.
We're so close, I believe in you.
I believe in all of us. So right now, Cody is heading back to Far Chozo Ruins, and the reason for that is to pick up yet another Chozo artifact. One of the 12. I think this will be the 11th one that he gets. Wasn't keeping track, but yeah, that's right. So this will be the artifact of world that he'll be getting. And what he has to do is there is a fight trigger skip that he can go for here, so let's see if he gets it.
Yes, it's called Ghost Skip. So if you remember IBBF about 40 minutes ago or so, the actual wall crawl itself does not save much time, but the main time save is the fact that doing the out of bounds right there allows you to perform this trick. And this trick saves you, I don't know, 25 seconds or so? It's a pretty good chunk of time. But if I miss it, then I'll just have to kill the ghost and it's okay, so. It's not a huge deal if I miss it. It's just stressful at times, and it's also right at the end of the run. Hey, I missed it in the dumbest way. Cool.
Of course, right? Marathons.
Gotta love it. It's okay.
Marathons and technical runs, as Val said, sometimes silliness happens.
That was a pretty good ghost fight, but now I have to do both bomb slots. It's this way. Also, I'm using X-ray visor to see the ghost, because you can see them You can see them indefinitely with X-ray, so it's nice.
Yeah, and another thing about the ghosts is you see that even with all the other beams that we've collected, so all the other weapons, we only use power beam, but power beam is actually quite weak, and the reason for that is because the ghosts, the beams have elemental properties aside from power beam. So power beam is kind of like I don't know, force damage if you want to think of it like that, or whereas the other beams, so wave beam is electricity. Ice beam is, of course, ice, pretty obvious. And then plasma beam is fire, and Chozo Ghosts are immune to all types of elemental damage aside from power beam. So that's why he used the power beam there.
Alright, so I'm exactly 9 minutes and 59 seconds off PB right now, as of Artifact of World. And my PB is almost exactly 10 minutes faster than my estimate, so let's see if I can keep it together and finish under the estimate. That would be cool.
Like I say, Cody, you got this.
I have a lot of time save on final bosses, so I should be able to finish.
So speaking of the final bosses, so there's one more artifact left for Cody to get, and that's the Artifact of Truth, which is supposed to be the first one that you get, and then you scan a bunch of hints for the locations of the others. But no, we're getting it last. So
yeah, I already know where all the
Artifact
artifacts are
Temple.
anyway. Who needs hints?
Yeah, I know, right?
Hey, that was another good another good what's that room called? Frigate crash site.
Yep. Consistent, good content. Gotta love it.
All right, right here coming up is ship dash. It's one of the hardest dashes in the game, but it looks so good if I get it. Oh, I got it. Let's go.
Ooh, nice.
Ship dash saves like a few seconds, but it's so good.
Saves time and looks cool at the same time.
It looks
Overall,
so
a good trick. Good content.
All right. This door right here is the longest load in the game, so I'm gonna write on the message, a message on the wall for you guys. F, 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 L. Just for you guys.
I love that.
Oh, by the way, as we get closer to what I assume is kind of closing in on the end, this is kind of a last call for the name incentive. If you have any more donations for those, now's your chance.
Alright, so there's 3 of them. This is Ridley. He is pretty easy. Probably the
Yes.
easiest one.
Yeah, so you want me to explain Ridley real quick? So basically what happens is he has a flying phase, and this phase is actually pretty short, and then you're gonna look for a moment where Ridley's gonna fall and land on the ground. And what Cody is going to do once Ridley falls on the ground in the very center of the Artifact Temple is he's going to do something kind of unexpected. So in a casual playthrough, you wouldn't think to do this, but Ridley is actually extremely vulnerable to being boosted into by the boost ball. So
Yeah,
I
so if
believe
you look
it
at his health bar,
does-
he's almost dead.
Yeah, I believe it does like 10,000 damage a frame or something like that. It's actually ridiculous.
It's 50,000 damage a frame. And for
Okay.
reference, a fully charged plasma shot, which is the most powerful beam in the game, fully charged does 100 damage. And
Yes.
Boost Ball does 50,000 damage per frame.
Yeah, so that's definitely that was definitely an oversight. So, and fun fact about Boost Ball as well, most enemies in the game are immune to Boost Ball damage, with the exception of a few, and Ridley is indeed one of the exceptions for some reason.
Alright, not bad. Save 12 seconds.
Save the animal? I don't know. Is that the right Metroid game? It's...
Save the animal. What if the animal is Metroid Prime Exo, and I don't want to save it? Oh, wait, should I save Exo by skipping it?
Oh yeah, that's right, Exo Skip, right?
Yeah, okay, so a trick coming up is called Exo Skip. I'm kidding, I'm not gonna do Exo Skip.
No, don't go for Exo Skip in a marathon, no way. So by the way, what we're calling Exo and what we call Essence, we're talking about the two forms of the final boss, which is Metroid Prime. So Exo we mean as an exoskeleton, which is the first phase, and also a phase that is skippable. So a runner of this game by the name of what's his name? Vertigo? I'll call him Vertigo.
Yeah, Vertigo.
Yeah, so Vertigo, this was a trick people have been wanting to discover in this game for a long time. But Vertigo comes out of the blue and he finds an out of bounds that you can do, or a wall crawl, to skip the first phase of Metroid Prime, known as Exo Skip. So that's what Vertigo is known for.
Alright, this is Exo. He's probably the most difficult boss of them all to do fast, especially. So I'm trying to go through it as I try to do it. So there's certain parts in each of its animation which I have already memorized. I charge up a shot, and then there's parts of his animation I know it's going to hit. As much as possible. If you miss your shot, they take about 2 seconds to charge, so it adds up. It's kind of a long fight too, so it really starts to add up. But
yeah.
it's
Another
really
thing
bad to miss all your shots right here.
Yeah, another thing as well is, like, in this fight there are several sub-chambers, so in this sub-chamber, like, Metroid Prime Exo just only does power and wave, but every additional sub-chamber you go down, he adds an extra beam weakness into the combo there. So what can happen is there is some RNG here as well, and ideally what Cody wants is he wants the RNG to be such that Exo switches between strong beam, weak beam, strong beam, weak beam, ideally, because that's the fastest, and you'll see why soon enough.
Okay, so what I can do here is he's gonna charge at me, and I can get 2 snipes in. Oh, I actually got that one somehow. And you can actually deal damage towards the next phase. So I got both snipes right there. That's good. That means this phase will end real quick.
Yeah, so by the way, when Metroid Prime is charging like that, he becomes vulnerable at the very end of the charge, so you can snipe him and get an extra shot in, and as Cody was saying, it does damage towards the next phase, so that's relevant because earlier I was saying he wants strong beam, weak beam, ideally, and in that case, what happens is the strong beam damage does damage to the weak beam phase, so that, of course, weak beams take more shots, which loses time, so that's a bit of RNG there. So ideally, that's what will happen.
Yeah, so another thing to note is there's 4 main subchambers that the boss fights in. There's technically a 5th, but there's nothing in there, just a cutscene trigger. But in subchamber 1, you're going to get power beam and wave beam. Subchamber 2 is power wave ice, subchamber 3 is power wave ice plasma, and subchamber 4 is just completely random. And so the 2 fastest beams are plasma beam and ice beam, and you'll see I'm going to try to hit my snipes here. I missed that one, so I'm going to try to hit the second one. Okay, I missed them both. That's bad, but it's plasma beam next, so it doesn't matter much.
Yeah, so of course, Plasma and ice are the most damaging beams in the game, so that's why it's considered good RNG to get them.
Oh boy. I missed that snipe too. But yeah. And another fun part about this boss that makes it really hard is the fact that I mentioned that there's parts of his animation where you know what's going to hit the boss. It's different for every single beam because they all have different speeds at which they fire. So it's kind of rough. So hopefully I'm gonna get good Exo RNG on Subchamber 4. I'm looking for Plasma or Ice. I got Plasma, that's really good.
Nice. Yeah, so in particular talking about beam speed as far as shots traveling through the air. Power and Plasma Beam travel the fastest. Wave Beam and Ice are slower. So that's a thing that Cody has to keep in mind when he's firing at Exo is how fast or slow the shot travels through the air.
Alright, that was the fastest you can get is Plasma Ice, which I already have Plasma Ice, which is good. Okay, I got power, that's okay. I got one of my snipes, so he'll die relatively quick.
As long as it's not wave.
He switched to wave right at the end for some reason.
Oh, joke's on me now, commentator curse.
Oh, Ice Beam again. Oh, he changed. Yeah, he does that. He is RNG, he's annoying. Stop, please. Let me hit you. Okay, and he's dead.
Okay, so that's it for phase 1, and then now for the final phase of the fight shortly here. And also, little tidbit about the final phase of the fight. If you've played this game casually, beaten it as well, you know there's supposed to be music in the second phase. Well,
I'm just gonna skip the cutscene. There's not gonna be any music.
Yeah, there's no music if you skip the cutscene. That leads into the Essence fight here.
So this is Prime Essence. The strat that I'm going to try to do here is a 3-pool strat, which means I'll try to explain it as I go. But he's gonna lay a palm. He's gonna lay a pool right here, not a palm. You're not a tree. But I'm going to try to cancel his animations. And that's gonna happen because I'm going to not shoot the whole thing at once. I'm gonna time my shots. And you can see he already laid a second pool, and that was really quick.
Yeah, this is the best strategy for taking out Metroid Prime Essence nice and quickly. And then another thing as well is that as he lays all the pools, and also as his health goes down, he actually starts spawning some Metroids, and the kinds of Metroids that he spawns, they do vary as well, so Cody just has to deal with them there. So he first starts off by spawning nothing, and then after a bit of damage he spawns regular Metroids, and then in addition, after that, he starts spawning the Hunter Metroids, which can latch onto him, and the red ones. And then finally after that are the Fission Metroids, which are really bad, but they die to 1 power bomb, so all good.
I'm really behind on damage, so it's looking like a 4-pool. Oh, wait! Oh, yes, okay. That was a really sketchy 3-pool. Holy... Jeez. Alright, that was Metroid Prime. That was kind of an unexpected kill.
GG! Everyone get your GGs in chat, by the way.
Not too shabby. Sorry, I didn't really call out time. I didn't realize it was gonna die. Alright. I'm kind of curious to see what my time is.
So according to what I have with the stream open here, it's 1 hour, 30 minutes, 19 seconds.
My splits say 1:30:12. But I'm gonna take a couple minutes, or no, I'm gonna take a minute here just to skip through the credits to see what my in-game time was. But yeah, that was Metroid Prime. It's a really good game. If you want to start learning a speedrun, it's definitely recommended because it's incredibly movement based, easy to learn, but very difficult to master for sure. I've been running it for 2.5 years, and I'm still like 10 minutes off world record. What, like I'm 13th in any percent? So, yeah.
Oh yeah, and then in addition, if you notice during this cutscene, Samus had the gravity suit, then she turned it off for the Varia suit, and now she has the gravity suit again. And that's just kind of funny, honestly, because we never got gravity suit. So some parts of it default to of that cutscene default to Samus having gravity suit for some reason, but hey, Metroid Prime for the Nintendo GameCube. Yeah, but
Alright.
definitely Cody, very well executed on that run.
I'm gonna wait a few seconds here to say what my time is so that the stream can catch up.
Yeah, sure thing.
Alright. I got a 104. Not too shabby.
Nice. Nice. Did
Alright.
well.
None of the viewers know, but before the run, Savage and I were talking, and I was saying that I am predicting a 104 for this marathon, and that's what I got, so cool.
Yeah, you win this one, Cody. And then I predicted a 105, so I was I was wrong this time, but hey, congrats, Cody. GG's again, and of course, I must say as well, thank you for having me help with commentary too.
Yes, for sure.